My name is Jimmy Page. I'd like to say it's the first time I've ever done something like this. So it's a very novel. The favourite? What is your favourite of the unissued tracks? It's very difficult to say with Led Zeppelin, with all of the tracks that there are of the catalogue, which is my favourite. Because I have separate memories for each one and how they were recorded and what the sentiment and what they mean is all about. But I would say a track to actually be able to access the idea of what comes with these companion disc audio, and the releases would be The Whole Lot of Love in the companion audio.
A woman you need love. A woman you need love. Baby.
Because it shows, it's a mix down at the end of that night of recording, and it's really tough. It's really good. And when you hear it, you see just how much work went into the final version of Whole Lot of Love. But I think that is one of my favourites. I could give you another one as well, which is Since I've Been Loving You, which is it was recorded on a different night to the one that is on the album, and that just goes to show how the four of us worked so well together. Obviously, we'd rehearse the number and then count 1, 2, 3, 4, press the red light, and that's what you get.
Since I've been loving you, baby, I'm about to lose, yeah, my worried mind.
Favourite memory of Bonzo? Just the sheer joy in his playing. It was so inspiring to play with John Bonham, and he had such an incredible technique, and obviously he'd been in various sort of bands and things before coming to Led Zeppelin, but with Led Zeppelin it gave him the vehicle to be able to play the drums John Bonham really wanted to play, because there was a freedom in it. And so that's how you arrive at something like his drum patterns in Good Times, Bad Times. And he'd never played like that before. And then, I mean, even though the first album was supposed to be a tour de force for guitar, I mean, I hadn't played as good as that either. And the same with John Paul Jones and Robert Plant. It's just the sum total of the four musicians just gave us the ability to be able to just rocket, you know, become like a rocket, individually and collectively. December 10th, 2007. It's the O2 show in London, with the three remaining members of Led Zeppelin and Jason Bonham, John's son, where we did one concert, and it was a very emotional concert for the people there. We took it very, very seriously, put a lot of work into it. Well, John Paul Jones and myself did with Jason, so that he really felt part of the band and not constantly, yes, but I'm John's son, because he had the hardest job of anybody who was going up there. Okay, we all had reputations, and we had a collective reputation for Led Zeppelin. Jason Bonham had the hardest job that night, because he had to step into his father's shoes, and I know that the amount of work that we put into it gave him the extra confidence to be able to do that, so that was really good. It's a wonderful show. And I'm really pleased that finally it managed to come out as a DVD celebration day, because then people could sort of witness sort of how good it was.
Would you do it again?
Well, you can't really do it without Robert. So you can't really do it, you know. The key to this is that's 2007. It's now 2014. And I mean, if he'd wanted to do it with his other bandmates, I mean, singing Led Zeppelin with his other bandmates, then he could do it. But he doesn't choose to, so I can't speak for him. Right, Led Zeppelin's legacy. The extraordinary thing about the Led Zeppelin legacy right up to today is the fact that it wasn't something that came sort of back and had a sort of radio revival or the records just started to sell like a blip, so it goes up and goes down again. I think the legacy for me, the lifetime achievement, is the fact that I learnt guitar from records. I didn't have guitar tutor, guitar school or academy, and the body of the Led Zeppelin material, you know, that's there. He is, I know, an inspiration to young musicians, whether they're drummers, bass players, guitarists, or what. But it's really nice to know that that guitarists are inspired by, you know, the work that I've done, and then it passes on. So you pass the baton on so that other musicians can have the inspiration that music can give you. Not necessarily mine, but just music generally.
What are your two names? Yours is?
James Page and...
David House. And you're just learning to play the guitar?
Yes,
From a teacher? Do you play anything except skiffle?
Yes, Spanish and dance.
Do you as well? Can you move on? What are you going to do when you leave school? Take up skiffle?
No, I want to do, biological research.
Led Zeppelin lyrics. On the early albums, I did the lyrics. I had lyrics, I should say. And on the second album, I had a percentage of the lyrics for Living Loving Maid. I had like the first verse, might have had the second verse as well. And the chorus, yeah, alimony paying you bills and all that stuff.
Alimony paying your bills, baby. Love it.
And then on Thank You, I had a bit which was in the bridge part of it, Little Drops of Rain and Tangerine. I mean, my lyrics I never felt were really very good. They were always a little bit sort of, well, not all of them, but certainly in on Living Loving May, they're a bit sarcastic, and I always wanted to encourage Robert to sing, because I felt that he'd deliver his lyrics a lot better than delivering my sarcastic ones. So, Captain Beck and me, right. I think it's sort of well known that the three of us came from a county in England called Surrey, and we didn't live too far from each other, but we were destined to meet as time went on. It's quite interesting that the three guitarists that get referred to all lived within a short area of each other, but also were all in the Yardbirds. And the Yardbirds was a superb band. It really was. Eric had done a substantial amount of work there with that live album. You can hear what they were all about with the 5 live Yardbirds. And of course he was to leave in a very early stage. But Jeff, I think Jeff's contribution to the Yardbirds was tremendous. His guitar playing was, well, it's just of such strong character and ideas and precision that it was difficult following that on, if you see what I mean, because Jeff and I were in the Yardbirds together in a later stage, the idea being to have like 2 lead guitars, in the idea that you would have in those old big bands, you know, where they're in sections and harmonies, and it was really good. But then when Jeff went, I realised that was a pretty heavy position to be in, because his work was so good and so characteristic, and they were really on it at the time, the Yardbirds. But I just brought my own sort of ideas and character to it. So, just as Jeff had, but it was entirely different to either Jeff or Eric. We were all very, very different. But that's the thing with the electric guitar. Apart from the fact it's fueled by your imagination, but also if you have a guitar sort of against that wall and an amplifier, each guitarist would come in there play, but they'd still sound like Eric, and they'd still sound like Jeff, or like me, or whoever, David Gilmour. The fact is that it's still just one guitar, no effects pedals, but it's a tactile instrument, and that has a lot to do with the way that your sound is, along with the sort of character playing that reinforces it. Oh. Well, double neck or bow? Well, the double neck or bow, very, very different. One's more in the area of the avant-garde, because it's not. I never played the guitar with a bow as a gimmick. I was playing it to make music on it. The double neck was there as a necessity, because Stairway to Heaven had a number of guitar parts on it, 12-string parts and 6-string parts, and so I thought the only way to be able to replicate it properly or do it any justice is to get a guitar that will give you 12 strings on one neck, 6 strings on the other. And so I got the double neck as a result of having recorded Stairway to Heaven. That's it. So it's an impressive instrument, though. It looks great. It's a sexy woman with 2 necks. Oh, somebody gave me the idea when I was doing studio work in London, and he actually suggested it when there was nobody there. He was there early, and I said, well, I don't know whether it would work, and he said, try it, and he gave me his bow. They were very precious about their violins and their bows, and I thought, if he's offering me his bow, I'm going to take up the challenge. And then it wasn't long before I got one, sort of more or less. Within a day or two, I had my own one practiced at home. One more. Oh, regrets. How can I really have regrets? You know, life is what it is. Life is how it comes. But, you know, I'm 70 years old and I'm here, and I've still got a twinkle in my eye, and I still love music with the passion that I had when I was a teenager. And I still love playing, so I guess I'm pretty fortunate, really, in life. Okay. That was interesting.
Yeah? You like it?
Yeah. Do you know this song of Johnny?
Yeah.
I'm sure I know it if I heard it.